Well, thanks everyone for coming in today.
Yeah, Ben.
Hopefully, my goal here is to inspire you guys to invest in your own businesses and yourselves, and also in real estate. Because along the way, I found a way to do it, and it's completely changed my life, my trajectory, my family's lives, and countless others. Bringing on employees and stuff like that. So the title is how to maximize your business and your future as a realtor, and how to invest in yourself and real estate. So basically, I got licensed 7.5 years ago in 2017. And my main goal to get my real estate license was to get my foot in the door into investing in real estate. I was like, how do I get started in investing in real estate? And because I knew nothing about it, I had no money. I lived in a rental and I had no credibility. I was a server at a restaurant. So I was like, hey, what's the next best thing I could do? Get my real estate license. And that will put me around the type of people I need to be around to get my real estate license, or to get into investing and learn from those who are already doing it. So fast forward, I'll just go over these photos real quick. So like this photo right here is the second property we bought. It's a fourplex, and we fully renovated it, and this is like the before and after. And then
Los Osos?
this is Los Osos, yeah. And we actually did a walkthrough at our investor meetup through that property, through one of the first investor meetups that we did. And then fast forward from like my first or second, my first one was a house hack. And then fast forward, we went to scaling our business and bought a 16 unit in Atascadero. And I bought that with partners. Never could have done it on my own. And I don't pretend like I do any of this on my own. It's all about the people you surround yourself with and the support that you bring on. Here's my wife, Lindsay, and she's one of my main partners in this business. And yeah, so just a quick background about myself. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always worked for myself. I've never really had to worry about I've just been like fly by the seat of my pants, like taking chances on myself and always betting on myself. So I went to Cuesta, I like to say UC Cuesta, for business. I knew that I'd never be showing my my degrees because I was going to work for myself. So I was like, I don't really need to go to Cal Poly. I just want to learn. So I went to Cuesta, got my AA in business administration and management. And then, like I said, I've been in the industry for 7.5 years, which flew by. I bought my first flip in 2017, quickly after getting my real estate license. And I bought that with a partner. I'll kind of go into that a little bit. And then bought my first house hack. So I shifted in 2020 to buy and hold because my mentor had a goal of getting $10,000 a month passive income. And I really liked the sound of that goal. I don't know why, I just kind of stole his goal. I was like, hey, I'm $10,000 sounds good. A weird, arbitrary, random number. But so I shifted to, instead of flipping, which you're getting taxed high on, I went to buy and hold real estate, which I want passive income, rentals, and build a portfolio. My goal was to buy 30 to 50 rental units on the Central Coast to build a solid foundation, and then scale that business into 500 units. And quickly, we're only 4 years in, and I have 57 units, 13 properties, and the assets under management is around 17 million. And that's like market value, but that's all.
Nice job.
Thank you. But that's also, I don't share that to like brag. I share that to show like anything is freaking possible in this industry, and you could easily do this yourself. It does take a lot of work. It can be a lot of stress, but if you're partnering with the right people, you can do it even quicker than I did. So, and it's funny because while it might sound like a lot to some people, I hang around with some people that put this to shame. They buy $17 million properties. They buy $50 million properties. So it's small minnows. I'm a minnow like in the pond, basically. But to be able to do this, I had to set up multiple LLCs. We've got 3 fully integrated businesses, which is basically everything kind of self-serving itself, serving the other parts of the businesses. So one is a real estate group, which is mainly focused on sales, and then construction company, which does all of our own renovations in-house, so I don't have to sub out much stuff. And then our property management company, which is managing all of our own properties. We don't manage other people's properties. And that also enables us to keep probably roughly like $10,000 to $12,000 a month, which we would be paying a property manager. So throughout, I preach like build a lifestyle by design, because that's what I've been trying to do. Is like, I want freedom. I love traveling. That's why you'll see some photos of traveling. I love my friends. I love food. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen the things that I love, because I obviously like to share it. I started a podcast called the Ben Tilbury Show, and then started a meetup with Owen over 4 years ago, and we just had our monthly meetup last night, which was a great success. So I'm just trying to show a little bit of like what I've been doing, because I obviously get a lot of questions like, what are you doing right now? Here's a couple other photos of like before and afters. We found that it's easier just to start a new route, so we basically take everything back to the studs, put in new everything so that we know what's behind the walls. We don't want funky electrical or funky plumbing, because it just leads to issues down the road. And if you put in new flooring on top of old, subfloors and rotted out stuff, you're gonna have to have issues later. This is a 4-plex in a Tuscadero I bought off market. And this is what we're gonna get into, is like why you guys are basically insider traders in real estate, and that you have everyone surrounding you has deals, and you just need to know how to buy them and what to do with them. So this one was brought to me by another agent off market. He knew that I buy properties, and we were able to put a great deal together. He made a bunch of money. I made a good amount of money, and we bought it for $435,000 or $430,000, and day one it appraised for $850,000. Today, after renovating all the units, it's worth about 1.2, and it brings in like $7,200 a month or something, like gross income. And our mortgage is $2,600. So
did you spend in renovations?
They're very small. They're all studios. It was built as a hotel, and it's got its own kind of interesting history, which I won't go into detail, but basically, to renovate these, it's roughly or under 20 grand.
Where's this one?
Tuscadero, over near In-N-Out, or the Sonic.
Oh, the one. The one up on the hill?
Yeah.
Like the 4?
Yeah. Yep.
So 20 grand per unit, Ben?
Yeah, roughly
Okay.
20 grand in-house. It might cost someone else 40 grand to do that. That's
Sure.
why we're able to keep our costs down. And yeah, feel free to ask questions along the way, because I'm sure I'll even have questions. I love quotes. I love trying to inspire other people, and I'm always often inspired by other people sharing quotes. So I love this. The future depends on what you do today. It's like, and we know this in real estate, right? The actions and the time we're putting in today are going to translate into 60, 90 days out. We're not getting that check today. We're getting it 60, 90 days out. So we need to take massive action today to put our goals into perspective and actually create the future that we want. I'm a big proponent of like, we are creators. We're literally creating and manifesting our reality right now. So here's some interesting figures, and don't fall into any of these, because this is average. This is the law of averages. If you want to be average, and I don't think any of you do, that's why you're here, is that this is where you'll fall. And the average life expectancy, although it's been going up, you'll see 74 years for men, and today it's 74.9. Women, it's just gone up a few months, So really, if you look at what I like to do is like look at your life right now. I'm 39, so let's round up 40, right? So just in average, I would have about 34 years left. That's pretty crazy to think about. So like I'm past half of my life. Now I hope I live longer than that, but like you never know. So we need to take super massive action today because all we like if this is your whole life, and you've probably seen this before, but if this is your whole life, well, half of it's gone. So all you have is this. So what are you going to do between now and here is really what matters. What you did in the past doesn't matter. So the average earnings in a lifetime are in an entire lifetime. This is crazy. Is 1.7 to $3 million. Now that sounds like a lot if you had it all at once, but that's over your lifetime. And then what are you left with after all of that? This is your retirement savings account balances by age. So 25-year-olds and less don't have much money in the bank, right? The average is 6,000. The median's 1,800 bucks. Fast forward, because what we really care about is like now and also when we retire, right? Because we don't want to be. I see it all the time as people are working for $20 an hour and they're like in their 70s. You don't probably want to be that person. So right here, the median is $87,000 they're left with. Like, how long is that going to last? Not very long, especially if you're going into, a home that's taking care of you. I think they're running from like $6,000 to $8,000 a month. You'll run out really quickly, even if you have 280,000. So what we want to do is set you guys up for not having to worry about the government taking care of you and not worrying about any of your retirement accounts. Like literally these real estate investments are going to be your bread and butter, paying for all of your retirement. I thought this was really high, is that the average American reads 12 books a year, but I don't think that's true. I think that's a lot, actually. Yeah. And then average household credit debt is around 9,000. I think that's low. And then let's see, average American saving balance is under 35 is like 3,200 bucks. Is that crazy? So it's like, what are you gonna like? What happens if your car breaks down or something like that? I mean, but I won't get into it. But anyways, so I was born with something inside, and I think you guys were too, that refuses to let me settle for average. And I don't know what it is, but I'm grateful to have it. What we're gonna do when we mold your investing like strategies is what I like to do is reverse engineer everything. So you've probably heard the sayings, begin with the end in mind. I think Stephen Covey is we're gonna start with the end in mind. I just used start instead of begin. So start with the end in mind. What do you guys want out of your life? What do you want out of your businesses? And what do you want to create between here and before you die? So what do you, I just asked that. Like, how do you want to be remembered? Like, you get into these thoughts and it's like, how do you want to be remembered? Well, you should probably act accordingly to that way. How do you want to impact the world? Like, I think that we're all capable of changing the world in our own right and doing amazing things. Like, I don't know where it is in school, but they're like, you can't change the world. But it's like, I think a lot of single people have changed the world throughout history. And yeah, so what do you want to leave behind to your children? Do you want to build a legacy? Do you want your kids to be left with all the debt that you have? I hope not. And then what sort of life do you want to live? And what are your 1, 3, 5, and 10-year goals? I think the majority and the average of people, if you ask them, what are your goals this year? They couldn't even tell you. Thankfully, we in Keller Williams are pretty big on goals and goal setting. And especially like I've been brought it up in conversation last night with Lindsay, and we're talking about 10-year goals. And it's like, oh wow, that's pretty far away, but it's really not that far away. It happens quick, like 7.5 years. I was able to do a certain amount of things towards my real estate career and my investing goals. So it's like 10 years, like I want to have that set up for the next 10 years. Okay. So we're doing like a little exercise, and just bear with me. You guys have busy lives, but close your eyes for a minute. Okay. Close them, and now visualize the perfect life that you want to be living 10 years from now. What does it look like? What does your family look like? How strong are your relationships? Do you have great friendships? Where do you live? What does your schedule look like? What does your bank account look like? What does your business look like? Are you prepared for retirement? And just visualize that. And then capture everything that you want to create. And then we're going to write down a few things, and these can be super short. So we're going to make goals real quick, and then we're going to put them in an envelope, and we're going to open them in 1 year. Okay. And this trips me out every time I do it, because every time I read the 1 year goals, I've accomplished everything on them. And that's the only reason I'm having you do this, because I know it's super powerful. Yeah. I know it sounds dumb, but just bear with me. So write out 3 1 year goals. And they can be super short. It's like, I want to sell 20 homes. I want to have a child. I want to get married. I want to buy a new car. And nothing's too big either. So like, I mean, if you want to go travel the world for the next 6 months, write that down. So that's 1 year. Now write down 3. We'll do 3 3-year goals. So give yourself a little, these might be bigger, it might take a little more time to accomplish. If you want to buy 50 rental units, well, give yourself 3 years. They don't have to all be real estate related, but they can. Now 3 5-year goals. Do you live in your dream home yet? What are your kids doing with their life? Are they in college? Is their college paid for by your investments? You can accomplish so much in 5 years. And then let's do 10 years. I know it's far out, and sometimes it's even hard to like comprehend or like think about, but like, what can you accomplish between now and 10 years? I'll be 50 almost. So like, I better be accomplishing, pretty much everything that I need to accomplish by then, because like, those are your best years, you know? So we get 1 more minute. Now, so anyone want to share one or two of their goals? Like, we're like pretty close friends, everyone in here, so like, I think you could be vulnerable if it's a pretty big goal.
1 year,
Yeah, let's go 1 year.
so you purchase a duplex, build 25 homes, hire an assistant.
Awesome. I think you can accomplish all of those things. I know you can. I don't think. What's someone have a 10-year goal?
Yeah, so 75 plus doors, 25 grand per month, and enough to passive income to retire my parents. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's a good big why. Yeah, I know you got something powerful.
10-year, just like honestly, I just want to work for fun. So
That's what I have tattooed, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool though? Like you don't even have to work, but you get to work
get to work.
because
Yeah.
you want to, and you get to choose your clients.
Yep.
I think that's a great goal. Jeff, you got something?
10?
It could be 5, 10, whatever you want. Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to start my own mortgage company, have like a team and build a team. Like,
That's
also I kind of pivot into like coaching and it's like speaking and at events, that's something that like really calls to me. And then, build a ranch house, out
Ah,
of my
nice.
parents' place.
Well,
Like, that's something that's
Nice.
super important to me, for the long haul. And I said retire my wife, I'd like to start a little Airbnb company with Michelle, and like she's an interior designer, so it'd be kind of fun, just like you said, that'd be fun to me, like,
Mhm.
I don't know, that's something that's a huge goal of ours.
I love it. See, it's cool like hearing other people's goals because like you can get behind them too and like empower them, hold them accountable. Like, hey, how's that? Let me see the drawings for your house if you're gonna build on there or something, or refer them to a great architect. But anyways, that's awesome. So the reason I say start with that in mind is when you're thinking about investing, you want to know what your goal is. And it's super easy to reverse engineer it. So it's like I use the example, if you want $100,000 a year, well, what are you gonna need to accomplish that? You're going to either have to, and do you want quick cash or do you want long-term cash? There's two different ones, right? Flipping, wholesaling, these investment strategies would be quicker cash, higher taxes. The other side of the envelope is going to be your buy and holds and your longer investments, which are going to be passive, more passive, and they're going to be stuff that you're going to retire. It's going to retire you. It's also going to give you tons of benefits along the way. So you got to figure out: do you want like to a full-time job in flipping, or do you want to partner with someone who's flipping? And these are all things that you want. Like you kind of reverse engineer it. Like, how much time do I have to invest in my investing as well? And that's something I constantly battle with because right now I'd say I'm about 80% heavy on my investing, 20% on my sales. So that's kind of out of balance, but I feel I know that. So now to get back, I kind of flip it, So
You're kind of like the flip of most of us though, which is like, it's nice to see someone who's like really taking investing to that next level.
no, I appreciate that. And I think it's also like, I know my weaknesses, not all of them. I'm constantly unveiling them, but it's cool to see what you can do in this industry if you just invest in yourself and invest with great partners and just like keep learning, So obviously I'm not gonna go into like strict numbers, but like we all have our own goals, 75 units, totally doable. 25,000. If you have 75 units, I can tell you straight up, you're gonna be over the 25,000 easily, especially by that time in 10 years. 25,000, you'll be roughly in like 30 unit range. So yeah, depending on where they're at. But so this is the only thing I stole off of using ChatGPT. But I just simply asked, hey, what are 10 advantages to realtors investing in real estate, right? And industry knowledge. I love how JP actually is the one who told me this. He's like, it's almost a crime for you not to invest in real estate because you are literally insider traders. Like you have everything at your fingertips, yet you don't hold on to it. You let it slip through, and other people, you bring the deals to other people. It's great, bring them to your clients first, and I will do that. I will literally be like, hey, here's a deal. Do you want it? Can you buy it? Does the timing align? Do you have the money now? And lots of times they pass up. I have one that everyone I brought it to passed up. Therefore, I bought it because I knew it was a deal and I believed in it. I wouldn't bring people bad deals. So I ended up buying it, and it's a great deal, and it's one of our best. So, and then a lot of deals I buy it straight off the MLS. So industry knowledge, and I'm not going to read all this, but like networking opportunities. Well, here's a networking opportunity. We hosted one last night. That's a networking opportunity. Owen was sharing about an off-market wholesale deal he has, like tons of opportunities to network. I didn't highlight this one, but access to listings. Well, congratulations, you guys all pay for the MLS and you know how to log into it. So set yourself up on some searches, multifamily income searches, below 500 or 600,000 searches, cut out the crap that's condos and all that stuff. You don't want to flip those. And then negotiation skills. Obviously you have that, you negotiate contracts all day for a living. And this is funny because it's all stuff that you're already good at. Reduce transaction costs. Well, you can credit that commission towards it, talk to your brokers, but you can work out deal structure, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I can add to the price because I'm going to finance this thing, and my renter is going to pay for it, so I don't really care what the price is. I can add 50 grand to it, ask for that seller credit back, ask it for it to commit as a commission back, whatever you want. And then you can add that to your repairs. You can add it to your down payment, just depending on deal, like lending and deal structure. There's a million different ways. I've had deals where I basically just gave them 100 grand more and said, I want that 100 grand in my pocket. And they wrote me a check for 100 grand. So you can basically print money if you know how to do it. Let's see, reduce transaction costs. We went over that. Firsthand market experience, increase credibility. I'm up here because of that. I think opportunity for additional income. This is a big one. Like they say, I don't know if it's changed lately, but you probably heard that the average millionaire has over 7 revenue streams, right? Well, if you have your sales business and you're making whatever money you're making in that, you want to put that money towards work. You want it to go to work for you because it will work 24/7, no days off, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to buy a property in an LLC, and congratulations, you just bought a new business, and that's a business entity, even as the IRS sees it. And now that is one stream of revenue. Well, you buy 7 properties, you got 7 revenue streams, and now you're a millionaire. So let's see, tax benefits. This one is huge. If you are a tax or a real estate professional, you can take tax benefits that other people can't. Talk to your CPAs, but basically we utilize the cost segregation studies, which cost you a couple $1,000s, but you can fast line depreciate a huge asset. Like on the 16 unit we bought, we paid, I don't know, maybe like $3,500 for a cost segregation study from a company that specializes in these, and they basically will tell you how quickly you can depreciate everything in your building, whether it's your roof, your flooring, your electrical outlets, your stoves, your lighting, all that stuff. And basically, to fast forward, I don't want to go too into detail on that, but I think we had $336,000 in cost segregation studies year one on our property. So, and then they have a calculation they use that you can literally carry over the next following years, and you can continually use that for depreciation until you use it all. So when you're making high income as a realtor, if you're making 100 or more, you need to start saving on taxes, right? Have we all got the tax bill? You're going to pay 20 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand. Well, this will counter that. It's like buying, I think it's one section, is it 179 where you can write off your vehicle if it weighs over 6,000 pounds? Well, this is like that, but better. You can only buy so many Mercedes, right? So So basically, once you get to a certain point, you want to learn to keep the money in your pocket and not, and then use that money to reinvest, and it's gonna 2x, 3x. And I think a lot of people, if they're just realtors and they're not investing in real estate, they're caught up still on the hamster wheel. They think they've escaped that rat race, right? Which I think you should sell as many properties as you can, make as much as you can, but don't get caught up in that. Now I have to sell more because the next year resets, right? You have to do more and more and more and more, and you have to outdo yourself. So it's like, why not, if you're gonna do that anyways, why not be investing in real estate along the side? So now by the end of 3-5 years, you've got a few million in buildings, and that's gonna set you up for retirement. Cause like otherwise, what do you do with your money? You know, most people spend it, and that's why we saw the average savings in retirement accounts. Okay. So how do you get started investing? Some of you guys have already started, which I love, but you need to set your goal. Chris already has his goal at 75 units. You need to take immediate action. Now you're all realtors, so I'm not going to be like, go find a realtor, but maybe you do. Maybe you don't have enough time because you're so busy in your sales business. You need to go find a realtor that you can partner with that knows how to find deals or something like that. Or maybe you can, you know, like what I do is I find deals, and that's kind of my strategy. But you know, you can also, this is one I thought about this morning, is because I know there's a constant question of like conflict of interest, right? Like, this is my client. Well, you can partner with your clients. My first flip, I partnered with my old landlord. So partner with your clients. Maybe your clients have something they want to sell and they don't want to list. They'd rather sell it to you than list with you. It's like that. Has that ever been in anyone's listing presentation? Like, hey, you know, I buy properties too. You know, this might be a good fit for my portfolio if you'd be willing to sell it to me. If not, I'm happy to list it for you at this price. Otherwise, I'll give you this price. Boom, win-win. Okay. Choose what type of investment interests you and which one you want to do. So do you want to flip? It's a full-time job. I would recommend it for certain people. But also you might just want to do something kind of like Chris is doing, is like house hacking. He's to buy a 4-unit, live in one, rent out to others. He's got people paying his mortgage and he's living for free. And he's getting all those tax benefits as well. Educate yourself, find a mentor or partner. I did that. My first partner was my landlord. He knew a lot more about flipping than I did, and he was an architect. So there was like a lot of things we literally swung the hammer and did all the work. Figure out your financing, talk to a lender, talk to a hard money lender, learn about loans. There's all types of different loans. There's other people's money, which we utilize as well. Is like, hey, maybe you guys have a bunch of money and you don't want to go flip a house. Well, you can invest that with me or someone else, and we'll go do the work and you just get the return. And then locate a property, use your MLS and find realtors. Determine if it's a good deal. Underwriting. So underwriting is where you're using spreadsheets and you're putting all of your cost analysis into a spreadsheet. I don't want to bore you with that, but you definitely need to learn underwriting. And there's great like flipping calculators out there and stuff you can find on Bigger Pockets. Get a second opinion from a lender or an appraiser or someone that knows more than you do if you're new to this. I love running deals. You know, people constantly bring me deals and they're like, hey, do you think this is a good deal? And I'm like, dude, that's so overpriced. Like, I would never buy that. But yeah, so does it pass their test? Then you got to find tenants if you close on it. And that's a whole nother thing that we won't get into. Or you find a property management company and then you just keep on doing it, rinse and repeat. And I simplified all that, right? But types of real estate to invest in. Do you want single family, multifamily? Do you want mobile home parks? Do you want to invest in land and have no tenants and just hope for appreciation? And I kind of dabble in a few different things, but I think I would not have the shiny object syndrome, and I would pick one and stick to it until you master it, and then go and do another one. you know, because constantly new agents, or not new agents, but new investors are like, I want to do Pace Morby's strategy to do this. And it's like, do you know, are you doing that because you have no money, or are you doing that because that's what you learned? Or there's a bunch of different strategies, but you got to find one and pick it.
So Ben, I didn't hear you say condos. What's your opinion on condos?
I have a friend who's an attorney who just did his first flip on a condo in LA. It fell out of escrow twice already. Didn't meet the FHA requirements for percentage of rentals in the thing. So stupid things, it was falling out, right? I just don't like dealing with HOAs.
Yeah.
You could go flip one, but just know the risks involved. It's like flipping mobile homes, right? You could get caught in it. Now you got space rent to holding costs. You got maybe they don't allow rentals, so you actually either have to live in it or you just have to pay the costs, right?
Sure.
Because like at least a single family house you can move into if you really have to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why lenders have stricter terms on multifamily, because they're harder to sell from the bank's viewpoint than a single family, because every family and person wants to buy a single family.
You can do your homework on those condos though too, ahead of time, just to make sure it's like the path.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, this one I didn't have updated HOA docs, so it was like, yeah, it was.
So like buy and hold, you're saying it's like you're restricted ownership in a sense, so you wouldn't really suggest it for buy and hold.
Depends on the.
It really
I'm
depends.
just saying you can
Thank
look
you.
into it first.
Yeah, just leave like these, it's like a condo desk, when the lender has it typically, so we just run it like the address through them and they can look at it.
Sweet.
Yeah, and you could do it, it's just, and they're usually smaller prices, right? So
Right.
smaller margins.
Sure.
This depends.
Okay.
And there's plenty of people that flip them, so.
Yeah.
Like a lot of vacation in Pismo too, a lot of vacation condos you see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's no wrong way to invest. You just do what works for you, but learn everything's got a risk.
Hmm.
Here's a couple rules of thumb, like for just finding your own deals. 70% rule. So this is like a flipping rule. I take the ARV value, which is after repair value, and let's say it's $1 million, and I times it by 70%, that's 700,000. That's what I can pay to flip that house. So, because it's gonna take my under market valued purchase price plus 150,000, so I'm 850 in. Now I got another sales cost of 50 grand, whatever, and maybe I got 100 grand in my spread of profits, right? Maybe I go over budget and I only make 75, but like, so that's just a quick rule, and it's like the quickest thing you could be like, hey, this is for sale for 650. What are the comps in the area selling for? Like the nicest one. What is a good renovated house? You find it, and that's your ARV. And make sure you have really good comps, because that's what the appraiser is going to use later. So, 1% rule. So we don't use it as much here, but I was actually running it on a couple properties, and it does work for multifamily on a few of them. But this is mainly in other states. So 1% rule is property's rent should be at least 1% of the purchase price. So if you bought it for 300,000, you should rent for 3,000, which is hard to do here, right? Because we're not finding anything that's 3,000. We're not even finding anything that's 600,000. So then you'd have to make 6 grand. Doesn't really work. But if you're buying multifamilies for 430,000, you're putting 100 into it. Now you're at that 500 range, and you're making 7,200. It pencils out there. The 70% rule. This is the other 70% rule. This is for multifamily or income producing properties when they don't give you expenses or expense rolls or on the P&L is basically you're going to take that gross rent. What do I think I could rent it for, or what is it currently rented for? And let's say it's renting for $10,000 a month. You're going to times it by 7, or you're going to multiply that by 12, right? So now you got 120,000. You're going to multiply that by 70%, and that's your NOI, net operating income. And then you can use that as your cap rate divided by, and then that will give you divided by. So I didn't like put all the detail in there because there's just so much depth that you could go into these.
Do you
But
have a spreadsheet that you can share that does all that for you? Or you just put it, I feel like.
I mean, I have like Well, there's some, I mean, but there's not one that just does all this stuff. That's why there's, yeah. But yeah, there's calculators out there. Like you type in calculate NOI, or you type in
Yeah, I've seen you do that so
Yeah.
fast. It's so good.
invest in your own backyard. So these are like rules of thumb that like my mentors gave me is like invest in your own backyard. Why? Because you know it the best. You know your market. You know if it's a deal or not. People ask me about like other states. I've never even been to. I'm like, I don't know. I have no, looks like a good house. I have no idea. Does it freeze there? Is there snow? Is it like, do I have to wrap the pipes? So yeah, invest here. We know the pros and cons of our own area. Don't invest further than 2 hours away. You could shorten that to an hour. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you want to drive, because you're going to have issues and you're going to have to drive there. So I think it was 2 hours. Our furthest one is like Paso, which I go to Paso like 3 or 4 times a week now. So yeah, just know that you're going to have to drive there. I've looked at properties in Mammoth and it's a 7-hour drive, I think. So I haven't bought there yet because I don't want to drive 7 hours. Have boots on the ground, and boots on the ground mean you have good people, good teams, good people you can trust that can do things for you there. If you're not there, if I'm going to invest in Arizona, in Chandler or Phoenix or whatever it is, I have people there that I can trust. I can wire them money. They know who to hire and all that stuff. So like, if you wouldn't trust them with your own wallet, then they're probably not the best boots on the ground. I love this quote from Jim Rohn. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, we have some pretty amazing people here at Keller Williams. So surround yourself with those people and learn and dude, we're building lives together. We're building businesses together. Like, why not invest together? I'm investing with Chris right now. I'm investing with, Rita's helping us out tremendously. I've got, Chelsea, like other agents that are invested with us that we're just changing lives. So, and I feel like it's not fun by yourself. This is all like way more fun when you're celebrating wins together. A slice of the pie is better than no pie at all. So that's why I go into, and I love pumpkin pie. So it's like a lot of people are short-sighted and short-minded when they're thinking about investing. Like, oh man, I can't buy that myself, so I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to be super honest with you. Is like, I normally buy properties. I don't even know how I'm going to like take them down. I know it's a deal. I'm like, dude, we're buying it. We're going to find a way. And we get the accepted offer. And I'm like, shh, I won't cuss. I'm like, we got to find 25 grand EMD by like Monday, and it's Friday. I'm like, okay, who would I want to partner with on this deal? Or maybe I have the EMD and I put that up, but then I'm like, okay, like I don't want to put up the 300,000 to close it. So how are we going to do that? So then I will find strategic partners and we'll take it down. And that's the sharing mentality of like, there's so much out there. Like you could either not buy the deal or you could have 33% of the deal. Like which one's better? Which one is getting you to that 75 units quicker, right? An example of that 16 unit that we had earlier, I had 2 other partners, right? So it was 3 people and we all had to bring 135,000 around. So we all brought 135. Fast forward 12 months, we refied, we bought 1 partner out. So now there's 2 people. So I got a bigger slice of the pie, right? So it's all like how you structure things. And eventually you're going to have a plenty big pie and you can only eat so much pie yourself. Trust me, I've tried. Okay. So that leads us to partnerships. Partnership, the state of being a partner, participation, to take part in the experience, something along with others. I think it's awesome to share experiences. That's why I love traveling with others. That's why I love building businesses with others, because you're celebrating those wins. If you're just winning by yourself on a mountain, if you come to a mountain by yourself, it's great, but like now you're looking around, you're like, dude, I wish someone was with me to like high five. And then, anyways. So why partnerships? Kind of already went over this, but it enables you to do what you could not do on your own. It empowers you to scale quicker, So to get to that 75 units, you could do it very quickly if you're partnering. You could also, maybe you scale with someone who's buying 30-unit complexes and you do that twice, you're almost there. And you can do that in a year or two. Give your support in areas where you might be lacking. So it's always great in a partnership if you have something that the other partner doesn't, whether it's money, time, effort, experience, all those things. Speeds up the process. And so that's what I'm saying is like, instead of 10-year goal, I bet you could shorten it to 5 years. And even if it took 7, well, you took 3 years off of that.
Sure.
Gives you access to more resources, and we just went over that. Pros and cons. I didn't edit 2 of these, but anyways, makes your money work for you. You need to put your money to work because it's going to work harder than you ever could. One of my mentors called it baby money soldiers. Like these are your warriors. They're going out every day and they're gonna go take on all these obstacles and they're gonna bring back more money for you. Okay. So you want to do that. Otherwise, if it's sitting in your bank, what is it done? How much do you get from your bank? You know, on interest, it's like 2% to 5% if you're putting it in a CD, maybe 6%. Increase your net worth, which we do have. I put these in front, and we won't get into this because we won't have time. But basically, if you've never seen one of these, it's personal financial statement. And I'm going to recommend that you take a good look at it and you fill it out today or when you have time, because any bank for commercial lending is going to require this. And it's a cool thing to track your net worth, because when I started, first of all, I didn't know how to fill it out. Secondly, I had 0 and it was all 0. It was really easy to fill out. It was like cash accounts. Well, there's only one, and then all these other ones, you know, life insurance, yeah. So it's probably going to be pretty easy to fill out when you're just starting. But once you go and you start this journey that you're going to be on, it's so rewarding to like update it next time you get a loan and you're like, dude, like this property is worth that now, and this account grew to that account, and you're just increasing all of those bottom lines, and your net worth is growing. Okay. You know, pros to having partners, you have 50-50 partnership. Well, you got 50% of the risk, right? Ability to buy more, we already went over that. Use partners' experience, track record. So if you're buying a property that's out of your, you know, ability, whether it's it's your first commercial deal. Well, if you're a partner with someone who buys commercial deals, it's gonna be a heck of a lot easier and a lot less headaches. Save time and energy, raise cash quicker, get your goals quicker. And then there are obviously some cons. Dissolving partnerships can be tricky. Potential to jeopardize friendships and business partners. So like you just have to be very level-headed. Like if you're buying out a partner, hey, we want this to be a win-win. We don't want to get argumentative, and like you just try to keep it a win-win. Emotional conflict and stress, potential lawsuits, and you can't fire your partner because you're stuck with them unless you buy them out. Who makes a good partner? Someone who is trustworthy, has integrity, experience, track record, reliability. They're persistent. They do what they say they're going to do. Like I said, they're going to be good boots on the ground. You can trust them with your bank account. You can trust them with your debit card. And someone who can have a prolonged business relationship with. Maybe certain friends obviously are not good business partners. Maybe they're not good with money. Maybe they're not good with timing and doing what they say they're going to do. Someone who's complementary traits, fiscal responsibility, good communication, problem solver, open to new ideas. And then someone who has similar goals. And that's always a big one, is like, whenever I sit down to partner with someone, like, what is your goal? Because if your goal is to make this amount of money and it's unreasonable, well, that doesn't align with my goal. Or if you're trying to make quick cash in this investment, but we're never going to sell it, maybe that's not the right property for you to invest in. You need to invest in this category. This is like a personal timeline. This is like an old slide, but I went from renting a room in a 4-bedroom house in SLO for $700 a month in COVID. In October 2020, we found a great house with 2 houses on one lot in Osos, and it had a 1-bedroom ADU. And that rents for $1,850, which is 45% of our mortgage. In 2020, we bought it for $785, and now it's appreciated, and we haven't done anything to it, and it's worth $1.2. Then shortly, like a month or 2 after that, I found a 3-unit on just down the street, like a block. Full value add. It was a crappy property. It had been on the MLS for months and not sold. It kept coming down in price. Finally, it was like at striking distance where I knew that it was a pretty good deal, even though it was a crap piece of junk. So full value add to the studs, converted it into a 4-unit, brought rents from $1,500 because they were only renting out like the main house, which for $1,500, and we brought it to $8,250 a month. I bought it for $510, maybe it was $512, but I think it was $510. Put about 160 into it, and it's worth about $1.4. So then Lindsay and I bought a triplex 3-bedroom 2-bath, which I love these like little combos. It's like where you have like a single fam and then a couple other units, whether it's 1 or 2. Those tend to be our like best cash flowing properties. So I think we rent this one out for $3,000 a month, and then sorry, I don't know what happened there, but then we got 2 studios. So it's basically a 2-story garage, and it's 1 bedroom downstairs and then a studio upstairs. And we renovated all of that. And we brought the rents from $1,000 a month, where there's only 1 tenant in the studio in the back, to $6,250. Bought it for $50 or $5,668.5, and it's worth about $9 to $950 now. And then what is it? Single family flip in Arizona that my boots on the ground, one of my mentors brought to me. It's like, hey, do you want to partner on this? So it was a lipstick flip. We only put like $7,000 into this flip. Bought it for $375, put it right back on the market for $500,000, and ended up selling it for $490. And then went into the 16 units, and that was mixed use, way beyond my scope or ability to take down myself. But my lender said they would fund it, so I just had to find the money. So I found a very experienced partner who's a great friend. We bought it with 2 other partners, and we bought it for around, I think it was 1.9. That was one of the ones where we like added 50 grand to it, and we're like, hey, we want 50 grand back. Brought the rents from 11,710 to 20,000, over 20,000, and in year 1, in 12 months, it appraised for 2.830. So it was $1 million virtually in one year. And that was just by renovating 4 units and increasing rents. So it shows you like how quickly you can do this, and just what we call forcing appreciation. Is appreciation happens no matter what. But if you do a lot of work and energy and money, you put it in, and all it fast lines that the appreciation. And also you can depreciate and write off all the things that you are putting into it. So basically, yeah, now it's worth about that, and I think it will go up to about 4 when we're like completely done. And then a 4-unit, I think that was, what was that? Yeah, this one. So this was the one on the hill. So we bought it for $430. The reason it says 500 is because we added a wholesale fee, 70 grand. And I think I gave the realtor some of that, and then I got some of that as well. So it was cool because it's like, hey, how do you want to structure this? Oh, okay, well, I'm fine financing it. Yeah, so it was just kind of a little insight into how you can structure deals. 4 ways to wealth. And there's probably 5, but I'm doing 4. So 4 ways. You got appreciation, right? So like I said, appreciation is going to happen anyways. You can fast line it if you want. But let's just say your property appreciates over 200,000. Now it's cash flowing $3,000 a month times 12. You got 36 grand. And then here you did some fast line depreciation, which is a cost segregation study. And now you've got $60,000 in savings that you're gonna take off of your tax burden, right? So, which is real money in your pocket because you're not paying taxes on it. Now 12,000 in the first year. What is that? Let's see. Yeah. Oh, the equity pay down. So first year, you're paying a lot of interest, right, Mr. Lender? So most of your loan is just going towards interest your first year, but you are getting some debt pay down, and you're getting that in equity, and that is your renters paying that down. So they're increasing your net worth every payment that you make, even if it's small at the beginning. At the end, it will be great. So I think that it calculates to 270 or 237,000 some odd. And the 3x is, if you're doing this 3 times a year, you're basically making $712,000 a year. So, and that's like, if you break it down, it's even small, like I really haven't put like more than 135,000 into any of my properties. Like, so you can do it. Like, if you can make 200 to 500,000, reinvest that. So that's just an example, and that's just like, I don't know. Anyways, we all love the broke agent. The second a client says, let's just see what happens, the outcome they want is guaranteed not to happen, right? That deal is going to be gone in the morning. It's going to have 2 other offers. So I would say, apply this to your own investing strategy. Let's just wait and see what happens with our futures. Let's take action today, and let's go find some deals and figure out what strategy we want to take and what action we want to take to make it happen. Think and do is always better than wait and see. And Robert Holmes, a great real estate investor, said that.
It's a great quote.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much my presentation. If you have any questions. Good job, Ben.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ben.
Sorry.
You guys have team photos today or something?
You did.
Yeah, we're working a little late.
Dude, you're looking good. I was gonna say, dude, your hair, dude.
I would say it'd be really funny if you guys were wearing that outfit.
No.
Yeah, I tracked some sand in from the beach.
You just both wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
Dude, no one told me to bring the cream.
Dude, I'm so proud of you.
Hey, he's got the same pants. You did that change your shirt and white.
Was Travis doing anything? You guys were all?
No, we're all like, you were like this.
We were pretty close.
Don't fret.
It was pretty close.
Yeah. Hey, look, your wife just.
Oh, why? I see you. I don't know if she can hear me.
It's so cute.
It's funny.
Oh.
So Monday.
You're muted.
You and I were together.
Oh, yeah.
Not talent.
That's fine. You can do it any Monday.
Wow. We'll do the following.
Yeah, even see that.
Yeah, we think you're gonna have to bring him.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Dude, we're just late, and I was like,
Oh, dude, I'm always late.
no, you're right.
Job, sir. I'm really doing things. I'm probably getting some lunch here in a little bit. I love that goal, bro. I got some good ones. I love it. I know I gotta write mine. Well, I got some, but I gotta rewrite them.
The 10 years?
I swear you can't do it enough, dude. It's like a trip. Like every birthday, thank you, sir. Yeah, appreciate you coming.
Keep it up.
Seriously.
Keep it up.
Keep crushing it. We'll see you guys soon.
If you end up in slow for lunch, Ben, let me know.
All right.
I go to the office, but.
This guy's such a stud.
No, I'll get free.
I got
Yes, bring the beach to the.
Literally,
it's.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, that's funny. Only in Pismo Beach.
Where were you guys at?
We went down to Pismo.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we started.
Like near the pier?
Big stand by.
No, we over by Seacrest.
You guys,
Oh,
did you have a friend?
Yeah, it's absolutely. Oh.
Ben, thank you. I'm Thomas, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Officially, yeah.
Dude.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Question for you.
Yeah.
So I have a client that
He bought a mobile home unit in, when I used to manage that. And he owns, Southwest Taqueria in downtown.
Mhm.
But now he's been wanting to buy another mobile home so we can rent them.
Yeah.
Because we have a hard time finding rentals and whatnot, so we don't want to be that. Rent it out to
Mhm.
people. But most mobile home parks don't
Allow it, yeah.
this already.
Yep.
So I asked him about, if he thought about investing in an actual house.
Yeah.
And he said that he had heard about that, and so he wants to buy, looking to buy a house.
Yep.
He has like a 730 credit score. He says the restaurant takes a lot of his time, so he wants to invest, so he doesn't spend all his time from like morning till late at night in his restaurant to make money.
Yep.
So I was just, he sent me his email address, I'm gonna add him to my KW app, so that way he can